everybody into our Zoom room. Hi there. Hi, Peter. Ooh, Read AI Meeting Notes has come back. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Jamie. Good to see you. Hey, Dean. Hi, Candy. Welcome in. It's 2 o'clock, so we're going to get started with our group, and we will watch the waiting room as folks trickle in from another meeting or a break from work or a break from whatever they're doing at home with their family or their kiddos. But welcome to all of you who have joined us so far. We'll go ahead and get started because it is 2 o'clock Eastern time and it is Wednesday, and that means it is another time to get together for Life Amplified. Welcome everyone as we're letting our other folks in. I'm Jennifer, I'm the Executive Director for Amputee Aid. This is Emily. Hi, Emily.
Hi, everyone.
Emily is our social worker here at Amputee Aid, and we get together every Wednesday for Life Amplified. Life Amplified is our weekly webinar. It's our time to get together, share, listen from guest speakers some of the time. Sometimes you are the guest speakers like we did last time. I hope you all enjoyed our big giveaways. If you haven't already received your gift and you were a winner last Wednesday, it's on the way, I promised. Director Jennifer got a little bit behind getting to FedEx, but everything has been FedExed and sent out. So if you've gotten your gift, congratulations. If you haven't, it is on its way and you'll get it soon. But welcome in for our session. This is a little bit of a different session we're going to have as we are continuing our summer fun series. We are having our watch party. So thus our movie theater background. What do y'all think? We tried to set it up like we were in a movie theater and projecting the movie to all of you. If you're watching us live on TikTok and you're wondering why is there a green screen, you have to get on over to Zoom, check the code, it's on our page, and then you can see what we're talking about here. If you're watching us on YouTube and watching our recording, hi, maybe you can join us live someday. But even if you're watching our recording, we hope you like our little movie theater setup. Now, everyone, some of our folks in our comments have already started. Thank you very much. Say hi. Tell us where you are coming to us from and how the weather is in your area. Hopefully it's getting warm because that is our theme. Summer fun series for June. It's a little bit warm here. It's not melting like it was last week in our studio. It was a sauna in here, y'all. If you were not with us, Lucho, Nick, Emily, and I were baking here, and usually I'm the cold one. Now it's nice and icy cold. I know that we've got New York in the house. We've got Dallas. Howdy, down in Dallas. Nice to see you. New York and rainy. Wah-wah. Sorry to hear that. Got Indiana in the house. We always have our good friends from Chicago and Texas in the area too. Hi to all of you and to some of our new folks as well. Welcome in. Now, as I said, we are continuing our summer fun series for June. I want to give you all a preview though of what we've got in July, because we are going to have a ton of guest speakers in July. We're actually starting our guest speakers a little bit early next week as we close out Summer Fun series. We're going to have a new guest speaker with us, the founder of Glider. Okay, we're going to be talking all about adaptive equipment for gaming to close out our Summer Fun series for June and kick off our July guest speakers series. You all, if you have not heard of Glider, come back next Wednesday, 2 o'clock Eastern time on Zoom or TikTok, and or watch the recording on YouTube. Glider makes adaptive equipment that started out being for upper extremity amputees if you want to do gaming or computing. However, what they have learned is that this equipment is helpful for all kinds of people, even if you're not an upper extremity amputee. So if you've got dexterity issues, arthritis, other issues with your upper limbs, or if you just want a cool new way of using gaming devices or computing devices, you're going to want to come back next Wednesday and listen to our conversation with the founder of Glider. It's incredibly affordable too, which is another kind of treat, all right? We are also going to have nutritionists on, physical therapists on. We're going to talk about Social Security disability benefits. We're going to talk up to the two product designers and supporters of Koala, which is all about upper extremity. So we got a whole bunch of cool things planned for July. But for June, we are continuing our Summer Fun series. Before I talk to you about what we're going to do today, Emily, tell us about our webinar policies.
All right, so although no one else can see all your lovely faces like Jennifer and I can, but just be mindful that if you do come off mute, we are recording and this will go on our YouTube channel. So if you're someone that doesn't want your voice recorded, just be mindful of that. You can put your comment or question about the video in the chat and we will read that accordingly. Also, just please be respectful, be kind, and this isn't really the forum for anything really super personal. So if you kind of have an issue, something going on in your life, you'd like some assistance, please go onto our website and click that Get Help button in the corner and we will we'll reach out to you and contact with you accordingly.
Exactly. Yes, we want to be mindful as well that this is a safe space to talk and share information. Most of our time together, guys, is going to be spent watching Phantom, but we do have time at the end built in for a debriefing and a discussion. So this is not the time to share very detailed personal information or political information or things that might be offensive to other viewers. We want to share information and learn from each other, but in a way that is kind. All right. If you do have very strong opinions or very personal things that you want to talk to us about, go ahead and get in contact with Emily and with me. It's completely free to work with Amputee Aid. All right, so 2 final things, and then we're going to start the video. Nick is behind the screens and he's going to show the video. We're all going to watch it together. I will say first, because it is our summer fun sessions, we are doing giveaways every session this month. This time, the giveaway is a book that we're actually reading in our book club. So some of our book club members are with us. If you win this, I'll find a different book for you so you don't have 2 of them. But if you're not in our book club and you win it, congratulations. We are giving away a copy of You're Not Alone, which is a collection of 38 amputee-specific stories. We thought it was fitting because it ties in with our video today, which follows different amputees on their journey, and specifically their journey through recovery and dealing with pain. Okay, so how do you get in on the giveaway? Well, all you have to do is be on Zoom right now through the end of the hour. So through 3 o'clock Eastern time, we will draw a winner at the end and I will mail you your winning book. If you're on TikTok and watching us and you want to get in on the giveaway, hop on over to the Zoom room and Zoom folks stay to the end. Emily is going to be doing the names this time, and she will put all the names in. You don't have to put any special codes or anything in the chat. You just have to be present, and we will draw our winner. Now, as we're getting started to share our screen and start watching Phantom, I do want to let you all know, if I put my social worker head on for a minute, I'll pretend I'm Emily, all right? There are some parts of this video that might be triggering to you. The content is about recovery as someone who is an amputee dealing with pain, and we are following different people's journeys in this video. Some of the content was even triggering for me as someone who is a supporter of amputees. So I just want you to be aware of that. Some of the things that you're going to listen about and hear and see might cause you to remember your own journey, and it might not be pleasant. I want you to stay as long as you can and learn. But if there are parts where you're like, you know what, this might make me feel some kind of way that's not pleasant, just mute it for a while and come back so you can learn about the other parts of the video and we can have a discussion after. There are also a ton of facts that are fascinating in this documentary about the rates of amputations, the healthcare system in the United States. And so I think that there are some really interesting things and some facts that you will pull out of the video, even if some of the stories might not resonate with you or might be a little bit hard to listen to. All right, so you will each decide for your own when and whether you want to pause and take a break as we go along, but I want to do that and say that up front for everyone so that you can take care of you and your own mental health and psychological safety. Emily, how did I do as a pretend social worker?
Good.
Good. Okay. I got it good from the real social worker. All right. So, and hi to everyone who's saying hi in the chat. Thank you very much. We will continue to monitor the chat. We do have some discussion questions at the end. If you have some questions or things that you want to talk about, you can share them in the chat as we go along, because we will still be able to see that as we are watching the video, but we will also try to capture them near the end. So we're in our movie theater. We've got the projection going. Nick, I'm going to turn it over to you to share the screen and we'll get started with Phantom.
I might be sitting on the couch watching TV with my girlfriend, and when it's quiet, I get this kind of buzzing feeling.
When I think about phantom sensation, I really feel it, the presence of my amputated leg.
It was this feeling of just vice grip, just squeezing my left foot that's gone, missing.
I've heard 1,000 descriptions, but the bottom line is painful.
Phantom limb and phantom pain syndrome are really confusing. And so often people are told they're nuts.
There's 2.1 million people living with limb loss in the US, and 80% of people when we've surveyed amputees have said that they get phantom sensation as part of their lives. They're not crazy, it's real. My mom and dad had a kid's baby book for my first year of life, and when I was 1 year old, they actually found me pointing at an airplane when I was 1 year old. That's my first taste of flight, and it's been with me forever. On my 37th birthday, I was invited to a fly-in where people came to a ranch that had a runway there, and there was camping. Someone offered me a beer, and I said, no, I can't have a beer because my friend Claude, who owns the place, is gonna let me fly his open cockpit airplane. And it was sunset, and when I took off, there's that golden hour with light and color, and it was beautiful, but what I didn't know is the wind had changed and shifted. As I came back around to turn final, the airplane went into a deep stall, and the airplane had less horsepower and less wing than I was used to. Nose dropped, and your instincts kick in, nose up, throttle in, and it was too late. The ground rushed up, and a big bang, and then it got really quiet. I was sitting on the end of the runway, and I recognized I was in trouble. The airplane was crushed around me. There was blood. I looked down, and my legs had two different 90-degree angles that weren't supposed to be there. And I touched my face, and it was spitting out teeth, and my face was crushed. Friends came up and said, can we call an ambulance? And I'm like, no, don't call the ambulance. Call a helicopter. This is my face. I recognized on the scene that my face had been crushed, and that the jaw and the bones in my mouth and my palate had been fractured. I knew that on the field, and it was collapsing, and I was drowning in my own face. My doctor said this should go into an exhibit called Things You Shouldn't Walk On. I broke the tibia, the fibula, the heel bones, the midfoot, and partial the forefoot was fractured and numb, and that foot had almost no motion. If you say, who's Jeff Kane, I'm going to tell you that I'm a family doctor, I'm an athlete, I'm a friend, and somewhere down the list I'd tell you that I also happen to wear two prosthetic legs.
Here's the album. It was early when I started the 5th grade at a school that I started feeling some dull pain in my knee. I remember that initially they thought that it's just, I'm a kid, I've just fell, maybe I just a little bit hurt and it's going to be resolved, but then it persisted for a couple of weeks, and they did an x-ray, and it was showing a tumor near my knee, my right knee. There's no anger. There's no anger. I don't know that they did but the best that they could do. And I can imagine that it was shocking and unbelievable for them also back then, that, and everything came up very fast. The time that between my diagnosis to my amputation maybe took just a month or 40 days. When I look back, although I was a child, but I definitely went through denial and anger and grief, and but at the end, acceptance. That happened to me, and I've kind of tried to accept that there are things that I cannot change, but there are also lots of things that I can still do.
On Saturday, the Vinton County Sheriff's Office received a call about a woman being attacked by 3 dogs. According to the incident report, Eva Simons was riding her bike when witnesses saw 3 pit bulls attack her. The dogs were home alone.
It happened probably about a mile from my car, which, you know, I was almost there. But there are a couple of houses on that road, and we've ridden by these houses many times. So I didn't even hear the dogs coming at me because I just noticed them, but they were almost at me.
Deputies say that Eva was coming down along this road right here. The dogs chased her down this road. Their house is all the way back over that way. When the deputies got to the scene, they found her bike over in this divot area.
I thought that's my last day. I absolutely thought, because, you know, I was fighting these dogs as hard as I could using my arms. I had bites on my arms, on my hands, on my shoulders. So, but my instinct was to just not let them get to the top of me.
There are reports that one of the witnesses fired 2 gunshots towards the dogs trying to help her. None of the bullets made contact. Shortly after, they were able to get her to a hospital.
First of all, I felt no pain. And I think that's the amazing thing about human body, that, you know, the adrenaline and the fight to survive takes over, and I felt absolutely no pain, even though they were eating my leg right in front of me. I mean, there was nothing but a bone left, 2 bones.
They're totally all over her legs. You don't see the legs and the bleeding and all of that in that picture. But what you see is Eva's face. She had the fear, the anger, the desperation were all written over the face. She's fighting for her life with these pit bulls.
The incident report says one of Eva's legs had to be amputated, and all 3 dogs have now been put down.
The surgery happened around noontime, so October 30th. But and I had 2 surgeons. One team of surgeons with the leading doctor amputated my left leg above the knee, and there was no way to save, which they informed me the day before, that there was no chance of saving the leg. And the other team of doctors, plastic surgeons, worked on my right leg because the right leg was severely damaged. Torn tendons in the back mostly, just lots of bites and torn muscles. So they had to reconstruct the right leg. I don't know how I'm gonna feel, but I'll tell you when I get there, because I really don't know. I want to go back at some point, so I'm gonna do it one way or another.
Right after I lost the leg, for about the first 6 months, for both legs, there was a period right after the amputation that I had pretty severe phantom pain, where I could feel the injured part of my foot that I thought was still there. The foot was gone, but my ball of my foot hurt, like a burning sensation.
Some things that people will say is, I feels fine, but when I go to sleep, it just starts shooting. It feels like lightning. It feels like I'm being stabbed. It's cramped, it's cold.
I have experienced excruciating phantom pain.
For some people, it's intermittent. You know, you can have pain here and there. For some people, it's like a jackhammer. I mean, it's there all the time, and they can't tune it out, and they can't ignore it. And for those people, it can be really debilitating.
It's one of those experiences that no one except some other amputees can understand.
I'm Danielle Melton. I am a physical medicine and rehabilitation physician at the University of Colorado. Phantom limb phenomenon is sort of an umbrella topic or term that we use to describe phantom limb pain, but also phantom limb sensation.
It's the idea that you're feeling pain from a body part that's no longer there. So imagine in your mind, in your brain, there is a room, no windows, there's a switchboard there, and your brain is kind of sitting at the switchboard. And it knows from different wiring from different parts of your body that when that light goes off, that is your foot.
The feedback sensory loop is broken once an amputation occurs and the nerves are cut. And so the body is trying to regenerate nerves and send those signals somewhere.
That wiring, even though the wiring is not going to your foot anymore, the wiring is still there. And even worse than that, sort of the raw end of the wire is exposed and is susceptible to minor trauma.
It's very similar to what I explain to people when, if you wear a piece of jewelry all the time, like a wedding ring or a watch, and then, you don't have it on, all of a sudden you're like, wait, I felt like it was there.
Phantom pain was not something I ever even thought about. And Bob has read a number of books on it before this happened. He never knew anyone who experienced it, so actually, he was the one who was kind of excited. I was in the hospital he was asking me, are you having any pain yet?
I get phantoms if I get sick, of all things. If I get the flu or when I had COVID, I had a hard time sleeping at night because I felt it was buzzing or tingling.
It hasn't been easy. And it has had some, impacts that it may not be like forefront of my mind every day, but it definitely has been like subconsciously impacting my life.
What helps for me is if I cross my leg and so I have other sensation coming up my leg from the foot being on there. If I rest my hand on there, give it a little massage, that helps my phantom sensation.
Really, it's very difficult to find a remedy for it or totally kind of being free from it. It's definitely impacting many people's life, including me.
Someone told me about acupuncture, that might be a relief. I've tried different things. I've tried so many different things and, devices and massaging, but it seems like the acupuncture is probably the most effective for me.
There's no one treatment for phantom limb pain. Sometimes I see a patient, and just by the way their limb looks, touching it, where their pain is, or what provokes their pain when I'm examining them, their history, the way they describe it, I will choose one type of menu, I guess, is the word I would choose for treatment.
And I was taking, pretty high doses of different pain meds, gabapentin, nerve pain. But when I got home, I tried to, minimize it and cut it down and gradually. So that's when I started experiencing the increasing pain as I cut down on the meds.
If I have used any medication for it, I've just over-the-counter medication, Tylenol, Advil.
I used a vibrating device, or a TENS unit, which uses electrical stimulation. So you give the nerves a job to do. And those vibration sensations or electrical sensations reorganizes the way that you can understand the messages coming from that damaged nerve, and then maybe not have as much phantom pain.
One of the main difficulties that amputees face, aside from phantom pain, is how do you interface the prosthetic leg or arm with the body.
I did really great for 15 years in sockets. I was able to do triathlons, I was able to compete nationally on a snowboard. But over the course of those 15 years, I started having a nerve issue where the nerve was giving feedback, and I went from doing triathlons to walking less than a block. I started seeing patients in my office using a wheelchair, where I would drive to the office, open the wheelchair, and have to take off my leg. And I would be seeing patients by having to balance on one prosthetic leg to do an exam on a patient. And that was hard.
There's not many good things about wars and conflicts, but they tend to advance areas of medicine. I would say in Iraq, I was there between July of 2003 through December of 2003. Probably performed, or completed, I should say, about 50 amputations during that time. And we were one of 3 combat surgical hospitals in the theater. One of the interesting things that we started to develop is how do we connect a prosthetic device externally directly to the skeleton of the patient. That way we don't have to use their soft tissues at all. And so a lot of the research recently in this field and improvements in these fields have been better means of connecting the prosthetic arm and or leg to the skeleton of the patient that had the injury.
Most people that have prosthetics have a kind of a prosthetic that has a piece here that their stump or their residual limb fits inside. I have something called osseointegration, which has implanted this metal rod into my leg, into the tibia. And so what I can do is I can actually change out the feet fairly quickly and easily with an Allen key. This allows me to be able to switch out my feet to be able to shower or go to the beach. And change it is just a matter of switching out the adapter and in a newer version, you don't even need the Allen key. They can have a different lever to be able to change that like that.
So there have been tons of advances in the prosthetic world, which have been great. From that surgical and biomedical technology advancement, they started actually working on sensory feedback of the prosthesis. So we were talking motor control, motor. But now we're talking about how can the prosthesis feel and put back into the system.
This is a hand that is really simple. It uses a 3-jaw chuck closure. These are simple and reliable. But in comparison, we have multi-articulating hands with motors in the individual fingers and thumb. Anecdotally, what we're seeing with this is that just having that sensory feedback, that visual feedback, is helping with phantom pain.
These days I wear pretty much one pair of feet for 99% of my life. These feet have some cool features. They have a shock absorber and a torque absorber. They have the ability to do inversion and eversion, which means they can roll back and forth with different kinds of motion.
So on January 24th, I finally got my new leg, my prosthesis, and I'm working with a local company here. And this is her. Her name is Helga, and I picked this fabric, butterflies, because that's kind of like metamorphosis. You know, I just wanted something cheerful. So the way they do it, they You know, I picked up $5 worth of fabric and they lined the socket with it.
Here is my fancy prosthetic leg that I was too self-conscious to show it up to 5 years ago.
So you can see this leg has a big shock absorber. And if you're going to go running, the carbon fiber has some spring and has ability to do shock absorption. This foot has a rubber on the inside that makes it very soft and accommodates uneven terrain.
Most of our staff team has a physical disability themselves, or they know somebody or somebody in their family has a physical disability. What I hear about phantom limb syndrome is that it can be really debilitating for a lot of people, cause a lot of depression, and really make folks just not want to do anything. But that's usually the opposite of what they need to do. They need to be more active and more engaged.
So we can work a lot of times on identifying, okay, do you have burning at the end of your amputation? Whether it's a below or above knee, above elbow, below elbow. Then there's the people where it's constant burning, constant shock feeling at all times. With our different staff skill sets and different neuro or physical therapeutics, recreation therapeutics, we can position their bodies different. We can lessen that pain to just bring joy.
So I oversee all the different sports that we do from a technical aspect and make sure that we're doing the most innovative, coolest things, things that maybe nobody else is doing. We see the people that are stuck in their basement, stuck in their room, haven't left the house. Oh, poor me, I'm never going to be able to do anything again. And when you finally get them out, it's like, oh, I can do this.
Left. It was actually interesting because after the amputation, my phantom limb pain was in all the areas that I had experienced nerve damage and nerve pain. Adaptive sports saved me. It helped me get my mental health back on course. I have to say, for anyone who's in my position, finding an organization that understands is crucial to your recovery. Once I actually stopped staring straight and looked around, a lot of opportunities just came. And I was so nervous because everyone's nervous to fail. But I realized you're not going to experience life without failure.
I lost both of my legs, but I've ended up being an athlete and being able to influence laws and lives with people with limb loss. And I thought I was helping other people, but by sharing those stories, I actually helped myself in my own growth.
I think it's ideal to be able to maintain that level of activity and kind of like keeping my body healthy.
Well, this is how I feel about Helga. I'm taking her for a walk or she takes me for a walk, whichever way, we're partners. As I walk today, 3 miles, I keep thinking, okay, next week I'm gonna do 5. My priority right now is to learn how to walk and then maybe hike. So it's kind of a process, gradual. That's the challenge. And, so I take it as a challenge every day. And I know people out there are doing amazing things on prosthesis.
What I find in patients who have gone through an amputation, particularly from trauma, many of them do go through what's called an adjustment period. People are coping with this however they can initially. Some people do it through humor, some people do it with great family support.
This is a very special memento. and it says Honorary Scout bestowed by Troop 95 to Eva Simons, that's me, for exhibiting bravery and courage through extraordinary circumstances. So at age 64, I have become a Boy Scout.
At some point, I'm expecting them to have maybe a crash, or if not like a complete crash, at least have a time period where they do have to get to the point of accepting and moving on.
There were nights when I was alone and afraid, and the nurse held my hand and we both cried, because you really don't know what's coming. So it's like any other kind of loss. There's stages that you go through. There are times when you grieve, there are times when you're happy, there are times you ask questions and ask God or the universe, how did this happen? What does it mean?
Some amputees in certain situations are actually better functionally than non-amputees. And so I tried for those folks especially to emphasize the positive. You're alive, you're young, science has advanced exponentially and is going to advance exponentially in your lifetime. And so there are better days ahead is the message I try to give them.
Only on NBC4, we are hearing tonight from a woman who was brutally attacked by a pack of dogs in Vinton County.
The attack so severe that days later, the Columbus woman is still recovering in a local hospital after having one of her legs partially amputated.
I've known this woman for 15 years, and she's emotionally and mentally the strongest person I've ever known. And she's always looking forward. I mean, she's never looking back at what happened, could it have been different, what do I need to do to progress each day?
We are adaptable, meaning we can change our experience based on changing our mindset and our thoughts. And what I would love to kind of bestow upon my patients and people who are in a dark space is you're not alone. There are people out there that are cheering for you.
I have no idea how many cards, but they just keep coming. From my friends, from strangers, from people who heard my story and wanted to encourage me, and just an incredible amount. So, here's one. You are strong and then some. And this is hard, but you are not alone. Hope you know not a day goes by that you are not thought about and cared about. You will get there one day at a time. You are incredibly inspiring. You are very much in our thoughts, and I'm confident in your recovery.
That's the ones that killed me. I mean, it was like, for a while, every day in the mailbox, we'd get cards from, and I'd have to, you know this person? No, I don't know this. I mean, it was just somebody, neither one of us knew, they heard the story and it touched them.
Every time I see a patient with this condition, I think about it. And honestly, I'm amazed how positive people are. I think positive attitude makes a huge difference in your overall recovery. I like to think that I could maintain as positive an attitude, but I'm not sure. I mean, unless you go through it, you never know.
I try to focus on positive and have a dream life that I want to have. But at the same time, I should accept that there are still times that I may experience some of that grief.
It's mind-boggling. That's a good word to use, because yeah, my life changed very rapidly, very quickly, kind of, you know, irreversibly on that October 29th. But until then, I was very active. I could not imagine myself not being outdoors, hiking, biking, cross-country skiing, running. And now I'm just making my way back very slowly. I know I'm going to ride a bike again. It may be in a different form, it may be a different bike, but I will ride a bike. because I'm going to get there in one way or another. It may be a little slower, but I'll do what I can.
I was lucky when I woke up in the intensive care unit. My best friend had put pictures of people wearing prosthetics doing incredible things. That's the first images that I had. Plus, being in Colorado for decades, I would go to the Warren Miller ski movies every year, and Warren always includes an adaptive skier. So the first night out of the ICU, I sat on the edge of my bed, imagining myself snowboarding with a prosthesis. When I got out of the ICU, people told me that I would never fly an airplane again. One of my best friends happens to be a flight instructor that said, and this is a lesson for anybody with limb loss, that the world doesn't get to tell you what you can do and can't do.
So we're going towards the Moonville Tunnel. And as you see this crossing here, that's the trail that they're working on to connect. This is, gosh, I do like it here. I have so many good memories and, and one bad. I'm not very skilled in, an uneven terrain, but, eventually I'll get there. It's spooky. This is the house where the dogs came from, and they kind of came upon me somewhere around here. This section, and I quickly put my bike in front of me to protect myself, thinking they'll just leave me alone. And I walked away to that second house and kept screaming my head off, hoping that someone would come out from somewhere. And at this point, somewhere around here in this spot, the dogs finally tripped me because they kept biting my back legs. They tripped me and I dropped the bike. And at that point, it was a fair game. I could not protect myself anymore, and they dragged me across the road into this field on the left side of the road. Eventually, there were 2 cars that came by to my rescue, and to this day, I'm most grateful because these people saved my life.
A couple of folks driving by saw what was happening, drove towards those dogs to scare them, to eventually rescue her and drive her to a nearby hospital. She says if it wasn't for them, she's almost certain her story would have had a much different ending.
After that, I spent a month in and out of the hospital between the trauma and the rehab, inpatient rehab, because I had subsequently infections in my right leg where the bites and the injuries were. So I had infection in my calf, which required 3 surgeries to clean it out and scrape out the dead tissue.
You can have 2 attitudes about this thing. You can sulk about it or you can move forward. And Eva from day one has kept moving forward. She's been amazing.
Everybody has loss in this world, whether it's an amputation, a divorce, a change in a job. Everybody has pain. Loss is not a linear thing. Sometimes you wake up 4 years later, and I miss feeling the sand in my toes. we were snorkeling, and when I come back on the beach, I love being in the beach. I love being in the water, but I miss feeling grass. I miss feeling the sand. But I don't get that choice anymore.
So there's several ways people lose a limb, and so sometimes it's congenital from birth. Sometimes it is due to trauma, such as a motor vehicle accident, or in cases of veterans, explosive devices or other unfortunate circumstances of conflict. The most common dysvascular diabetic types, infection, oncologic etiologies.
Unfortunately, even now that we are talking, more than 30 years after my diagnosis, osteosarcoma, that is a very common bone tumor and happens a lot in kids in growth ages, doesn't have a treatment.
So what we quote all the time is that by 2050, there will be 4 million people in this country living with limb loss. I personally think that's actually very low, because that was based on extrapolated data from the 80s and 90s when obesity wasn't as significant and diabetes wasn't as prevalent. And so I think that number is actually going to be much higher. And it makes a huge difference in how those of us in healthcare will help our patients because of limited resources. And we need to figure out how to approach people with limb loss, because it is going to be a big problem.
Diabetes is caused by a lot of different things. Some people inherit diabetes, and type 1 diabetes is a combination of genetics and inheritance. Type 2 diabetes, we think of adult onset diabetes, has to do with some inheritance, but also the way that our culture is gaining weight. You look at kinds of diet. And so type 2 diabetes, having high blood sugar can damage the nerves that we have. And when you have less sensation and vascular disease, that's a bad combination.
When we think about removing a body part, as the definition of an amputation, it is a lot more prevalent than maybe what we realize. You know, it could be as simple as a digit, the very tip of your finger, you know, from some saw accident, you know, that's an amputation.
Things that I've been very involved with for the last probably 5 to 10 years is pushing a national limb loss registry. And it's such a needed thing, because some of the statistics that we think we know about limb loss, we really don't.
I think what we need to do is really listen to the patients and to their stories and get down to the deeper substance of what makes their life matter, what makes them tick, who are they, and how can we connect to that.
December, January, I slept maybe 2-3 hours at most at night. And I had to take meds at night still. Pretty high doses just to be able to, you know, function, to calm myself down. I also got the prosthetic January 24th, so I started using it. So maybe between the acupuncture and actually using the prosthetic, you know, the pain just got less and less. I still have it. It doesn't go away, but it's manageable. I'm completely off pain meds at this point.
We have a lot of folks in our community that have gone completely off painkillers just by participating in programs. And so I really do think, like, you know, those that end up on the couch and really just not active or not out with others are the ones that suffer more greatly than folks that get out and recreate.
There may be 500 people in the United States have had osseointegration right now. I had mine done outside the United States 6 years ago before it was being done in the United States. I had to travel to Australia to have it done.
There are centers now here in Denver at the university and at PSL Hospital that do these osseointegration procedures pretty routinely now. For a certain subset of patients who have certain levels of amputation, it's a really, really good option for them. It is a huge game changer.
I often have to educate patients when they come into clinic, like, yes, I know you just did a lot of research on this, and that may be a prosthetic device that down the road might be available, but currently insurance doesn't cover it, or currently we really can't replace limbs like we hope to one day. I think that we have a long way to go in some aspects, but I think that we've also made huge strides, and really educating patients and the public about some of these challenges is really where I think we can also move the field forward.
There's many things coming at individuals with limb loss, and especially those with limb loss and phantom limb pain that's debilitating.
It's something that could happen to each and every one of us. No one wants to be in that club, but you could be a part of it in a second.
Often people think, this isn't going to happen to me. And the truth is we don't know what's going to happen to us, right?
No one expects to join this club, but you could join this club tomorrow walking across the street.
This experience taught me to enjoy every day. Every day you are given, as a gift, because my life changed, and so could anybody's life change in a day. So I'm wearing this ribbon that was given to me at the last meeting of fellow amputees. It's a local support group that I've joined.
To the person that's lost their limb, what I do is I listen and I say, and I can understand, it's a big loss. You're opening a door to a world you've never seen, and it's scary. The good news is there are other people that have walked through that and have great lives. And so it's up to you to learn from them, to find out what it helps you to go forward, and to rethink of what your life is about. I would never wish this path on somebody else, but it turns out that the view from this path is pretty spectacular.
And we can talk? We can talk. Hi, everyone. All right, we're going to get our screen set up back so that we can see you all. For those of you who stuck around to watch the movie, there's some heavy stuff in there, right, Emily? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just wondering if anyone's got some feedback. Hi, Iowa in the house. If anyone's got some feedback or thoughts that they have, I'd love to hear them. We'll include the link to the video if you want to watch it again, or if you want to share it with someone you know. When we send out Friday's recording. It's an important topic. Thank you, Peter, for sharing that. I'm concerned that the producers do not include any discussion on, yes, great points, TMR, RPN. Yeah, so the producers of this video talked very much about personal stories and some, I don't want to say standard, but some more accessible kind of treatment like physical activity and that kind of thing. But you are absolutely right, Peter, that there are other more commonly known treatment options like TMR, which we are actually going to be talking about next month. Stay tuned. Okay, we're going to have some experts on talking to us about some options for lower extremity phantom limb pain. But great points there. Yeah, the documentary itself kind of focused on some more about the stories and the journeys and how phantom limb pain can affect your life, which might be helpful for folks who don't understand what you're going through, right? Give them the video. Any other feedback, comments, anyone? Oh, great question, Deb. Has anyone tried acupuncture? You know, I was wondering that myself, Deb. Has anyone tried acupuncture or willing to try? Maybe we'll send you the copay for it or find an expert. You can report back to us. Has anyone tried acupuncture? Now would be the time to share.
So Jennifer,
yeah.
I'm not an amputee, obviously, but I get acupuncture done a few times a year.
Does
I
it work
got bad back and neck and shoulder problems. I got all kind of problems. But no, it does help me. I do know a few people that have done it and it didn't work for them. So, you know, you got to watch and see and test it out.
Watch and see. I see Bree here willing to try. Bree, email us. Maybe we'll have you sign a waiver, but maybe you could be our guinea pig and report back to the group. We'll send you we'll pay for your acupuncture. You can tell us if it worked for you. Magnesium. I've heard a lot of people say that. Terry, thank you for mentioning that as well. TEMS unit. Yep, a TEMS unit. We hear that quite a bit too. Oh, yeah, Linda has tried it. It's relaxing and lasts for a few days. Very interesting. I spoke to an expert earlier this week who will be speaking on our webinar coming up in July, who also talked about getting shots. You can get a shot, but it only lasts a couple hours. Staying hydrated helps. Yeah, great point. I was really interested, and then Lincoln, I'd love to hear from you. I was really interested in the part of the documentary that talked about how your phantom limb pain can pop up or not based on the weather, how you're feeling that day, whether you've had flu. I see lots of people shaking their head. Yeah. Lincoln, you had a comment. Go ahead and share.
I was just going to say about acupuncture. I still have my leg, and I was so skeptical. I was so mad at my doctor for referring me to acupuncture. But after the first time, I mean, it wasn't just the pain of my leg, but the person that did it, the acupuncturist, was like, "You have a lot of stress at your job?" Yes. And she stuck one in my ear, and I just automatically like, ah.
Interesting.
So I'm a believer. I can't wait to find somewhere here. I'm out of the country right now, so
yeah.
I can't wait to find somewhere where I can go and try it again.
Okay. All right. So some positive feedback. Bree, if you're still thinking about it, let us know. Kim, massage therapy and chiropractic care. Yeah, I would love to see maybe by some emojis or some shakes of the heads how many of you work on desensitizing activities like the tapping or the different devices. We've had some clients use rice bags to kind of desensitize your limb. Lots of people saying yes to that. And hopefully for our newer amputees, either with us now or on TikTok or watching this YouTube, you're going to hear lots of tips and tricks. Reach out to us. We'll connect you with a veteran amputee to give you all the ins and outs. I see lots of thumbs up for that. Balancing energies, tapping, yoga. Yes, yoga is a great opportunity as well. Thank you, April, for sharing this. I have intermittent phantom pain. Okay, yeah, acupuncture helps. Okay, lots of people are saying that. And yoga, for Lincoln, it's at least better than physical therapy. So lots of options here for dealing with phantom limb pain. Hopefully, as you were watching the video, maybe it got you thinking of some other things. I'm a big fan of the physical activity option. Again, I think it helps desensitize or kind of get your brain thinking about where your limb is now as opposed to where your brain thinks your limb is, which is often the cause for phantom limb pain. So I hope, as we're doing our summer fun series, that this was a nice kind of break from our usual topics and got you to kind of rest and relax, but also focus on a video with us, and that you got something that you could take away either from yourself. Oh, Greg is on the screen. You got your package. Congratulations. All right. I'm glad you got that today. Sorry, it took a couple of days later. But on that point,
I just need it by the weekend.
perfect segue to our giveaway for today. And then as we're getting to find out who gets our book, You're Not Alone, 38 Stories from 38 Amputees. I will also say for next week, as we're closing out our June Summer Fun series, we will have the founder of Glider on. So we're going to learn all about adaptive gaming equipment that you can also use for your computers, whether or not you are an upper extremity amputee. I'm excited to have some upper extremity content because for our upper extremity friends, you're often not included in the discussion. All right. So, and if you are not an upper extremity friend, come and join us anyway because you know somebody who is, but you also might find that this equipment is helpful for you as well. So we'll have Glider on for an entire hour for free for us next Wednesday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. That's June 24th. Then we kick off in July our mid-year review. Can you believe it's been a half a year already? We're going to review some of the topics that we've talked about with brand new speakers, all guest speakers all month long. But to close out today, let's find out who is winning our book for our giveaway for June 17th. Emily's got all the names down. She's going to find out who the winner is. Drum roll, drum roll.
So that's the person that says Zoom user.
Oh, okay. Where is Zoom user? Okay, hold on. Do we have Zoom user on here?
Right
still?
here. He's right here in the green shirt.
Oh, a new person. Okay, Zoom user in the green T-shirt who is new to our group. Put in the chat your email address. Hi, nice to meet you.
There you go. Yep,
Hello.
you.
Hi.
How are you?
Congratulations and welcome.
The first time I've been in this group. I know a lot of people in it.
Okay, wonderful. Well, welcome. Okay, so put your email in the chat so that I can email you and get your mailing address. Then it won't go on the internet for everybody on YouTube. And I will mail you your book. And please join us every week whenever you can. We have lots of guest speakers and we do a lot of fun things and educational things. Today was a little bit of a break.
I know a lot of people that are in the group. So
Oh, good.
People that know who I am.
Okay, all right. So somebody else who knows who he is too, put his email in there so I can make sure I send it to the right person. And if you don't already know, but you're in the Dallas area, connect with Greg at Dallas Amputee Network because they have a picnic coming up. And I think maybe possibly that gift that we sent to him might be making an appearance. Is it going to make an appearance, Greg, at your picnic?
It is.
All right.
It is.
There you go. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for sticking around a little bit longer with us today. We hope that you enjoyed our documentary and our discussion after. As always, we will send out the recording on Friday. We would love to have you back next Wednesday for another session of Life Amplified with Glider and another giveaway to close out our summer fun season for June. Until next Wednesday, have a wonderful end of the week. Take care of yourself. Have a great beginning of next week. And we'll see you all next Wednesday, 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Zoom and TikTok. Remember, together we can restore hope and